Shalom, this is Mary Omni from the World Government House of King David, Holy Covenant Constitutional Enforcer. This is a Republic Notice. This Republic Notice is response to Black Panthers condemn President Obama. And it's on Alex Jones, the propagandist Alex Jones, that is part of the Mystery Babylon public, who's all of a sudden is worried about their constitutionality. They wasn't worried about it as long as the constitutional rights of blacks was being trampled. It's only when it started affecting the so-called public, you know, because blacks are the republic. But anyway, this one elderly Black Panther was on there. He's not elderly, but you know, he's an older one, part of the original Black Panthers. And you know, and Professor Griff and KRS-One, they seem to want to glory, you know, this Alex Jones, give them a platform because, of course, they go after these easy piss men who carry piss around. That's patriarch indoctrination, subjugation syndrome, and they had a tendency to attack each other in their kind. Now, these black men are of the republic. Alex Jones have been trampling their republic for a while, and so now he's telling them, I trampled your republic, but you come on and you express, you know, your discontent against President Obama, even though, you know, I the one and the other 2 to 300 million others trampled your constitutional republic. Just pretend President Obama is the only bad guy that ever did anything to you and he's the evil one. Just come on with your black skin and go ahead after this constitutional citizen woman, Michelle Obama husband, and say that he's the evil, because if it comes from the black mouth, then it'll be more believable. And so they, like goons, they go head on and they become part of the platform just to get a little fame, a temporal fame, and yap their gums. And so this Black Panther was on there talking about President Obama, where's your humanity, where's this, and why are you doing this, and why are you doing that? But the title was Black Panthers Condemn President Obama. No, it was just one elderly or old original Black Panther talking all this and asking all these questions to President Obama, and, you know, following the tradition of Professor Griff and KRS-One, all these black guys who wanted a little attention now, and using the Alex Jones platform of the public, the same public that trampled them, and to the point where they don't even mention their 15th Amendment. I mean, I bet you this Black Panther ain't even mentioned his 15th Amendment. All he did was point a finger at President Obama. See, it's not about standing up for constitutionality. It's about expressing your piss. It's about pissing. That's all it's about with these black men who go on Alex Jones pissing. And then Professor Griff putting out this faulty information talking about President Obama is a corporation called America, in which I corrected him, because I got a video called Answer to Professor Griff, President Obama is a corporation, you know, because it's a whole bunch of misinformation, you know, and these men talk like Professor Griff, like they really got a grip and a real understanding of information, when Professor Griff, I done found his critical thinking to be very on a low level. I mean, with all way, he may be knowledgeable, but you know, knowledge without critical thinking is like having a sandwich without meat in the middle, you know. I mean, it just gets silly after a while. And so what I'm saying is, you know, the public, who is Mystery Babylon, try to pretend that President Obama created all this evil. Now, they done voted and they done gloried in their all-white senators, all-white governors, following Woodrow Wilson 100 years since 1913, since he set up the birth of the new Klan nation in his robe and his burning cross and his white horse, and did the media film about it. And they've been voting for 100 years in this satanic evil as the Antichrist, because he wanted to throw away the constitutional republic for white supremacy. And white public, Mystery Babylon, had been voting for this 100 years, and they was quite comfortable with their all-white senators, their all-white governors, their all-white this, their all-white that, and they act like that was natural, even though blacks are constitutional citizens. They act like it was so natural for a constitutional citizen not to hold any office whatsoever, because they had the majority. They had the majority. And so they based this white supremacy on majority, which has nothing to do with the constitutional republic. Then they try to act so dumb, so dumb, like they don't know what a republic is. They know damn well what a republic is, but they wanted to follow Woodrow Wilson. They wanted to privilege. They wanted to trample. They wanted to infringe. They wanted to make sure they can go in their little cul-de-sacs and their little bastions and their little clubs and their little everything, and they sat in their little cubicles and see how they could keep and infringe blacks out of everything by their all-white senators and all-white governors, so they could look out for their children with grants and waivers, and the professors grants and waivers and land grants and rural development loans and all this. You know, they didn't care about the Constitution then. They didn't care about blacks being locked up. They didn't care about no Black Panther asses being water holes down. They didn't care about Fred Hampton being shot. They didn't care about nothing. They didn't even care President Kennedy here was blown off in the daylight. They went back to, let me continue to vote my consent for every evil as long as you give me my Subaru and my house in the suburb, and long as I can take what I want, long as I can get the grants and my friends can get the banksters to work with them and the mortgage companies and all that, and I can give my friends this and that and that and the other, and then I'll go to church every Sunday and pretend to be holier than thou. So, you know, and to get black men and come behind this and then start acting like President Obama, who's been in office 5 years, is responsible for all this evil. Like all this evil just came about in the last 5 years. Get real. Get the F real. All this evil just came about in the last 5 years. No, nobody never hung you. No other president never did nothing or signed nothing or consented to nothing. No, these 200 to 300 to 400 million that's been trampling your constitutionality and infringing on your human rights, they did no evil whatsoever. President Obama invented evil. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Black man puppets who go on here and point fingers. But you won't open your damn mouth about your 15th Amendment, will you? You won't open your damn mouth about that black infant that's being trampled, do you? You don't open your mouth about that black woman and baby that's being attritioned out of health care, welfare, housing. You don't open that, do you? Yet you want to worry about President Obama sending a drone overseas, but you don't worry about nobody getting shot in the head here, do you? And see, this is why Queen Betty Shabazz asked Malcolm X. She said, you know what? You can risk your life every day and it don't bother you. But when it comes to betrayal, you're blind, you can't see it. And that's because Malcolm had a pure heart, and he could not see the piss demon in black men, the patriarchal indoctrination subjugation syndrome, that they will follow a Woodrow Wilson in a syndrome, like a drone. And they would follow them, and they would have a piss hate towards each other where they gotta dominate. And if they don't dominate, they feel threatened, and they gotta take out the threat. See, Malcolm X couldn't see that, because his heart was too pure to see that. He couldn't see that gangrene evil in the heart of other men. Neither could Tupac. Neither could Tupac see this piss beast in other men. But this piss beast exists, and the only thing that these black men is coming on Alex Jones to do is just piss out of their mouth. Because Alex Jones don't care nothing about their 15th Amendment. As a matter of fact, if they mentioned it, he'll start looking at them like they crazy. He trampled their 15th Amendment. He don't respect them one white older, because he don't even respect the Constitution. So he don't respect that they got a 15, and Alex Jones represents millions of people with his same mentality, and that's why he's popular. He's one of the loud mouths in a mystery public Babylon. One of the same loud mouths that's been trampling constitutionality. And everything was yay okay as long as they could trample blacks freely and clearly, and none of the effects came on them. Now that the mystery Babylon is karmiction, which means they bitching over their karma, now they want to bring in the constitutional republic, some black goons, to start yapping their gums at President Obama. Now, I'm not saying I know President Obama is perfect, and I'm not blind to President Obama. I'm saying I know this. Evil didn't start within the last 5 years. I know that. And anybody in their right mind know evil didn't start just when he came into that White House. You know, it seemed like they was comfortable with evil for years and years and years, long as it came in a pale skin. Now all of a sudden, Mystery Babylon and Alex Jones types is trying to act like, you know, evil just started with President Obama. Oh yeah, but it was all right when it was in pale skin. It was all right when it was in Woodrow Wilson. You voted for it 100 years. You voted for everything. Hiroshima, Nagasaki, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, Agent Orange, all of it. Tuskegee experiment. all the poisons, blacks being stuck in ghettos, attrition out of everyday basic needs, blacks being homeless. Nobody was barking about the Constitution then being burned, even though black Americans is the only constitutional citizens. And another thing we need to remember is this. Michelle Obama is a constitutional citizen, and so is her mother, Marion Robinson. So we have the Constitution in the White House. And I'm going to start calling it the lighthouse, because as long as constitutional citizens in it, it holds no debt. It holds no debt as long as constitutional citizens in it, because constitutionals are non-consenters in the supreme contract. And as long as they're in that White House is symbolic of hold no debt. So why don't we call it a lighthouse? A lighthouse, since whites want to be so spiritually immature and act like they think it belongs to them, because all of a sudden they barking about the evil that they've been voting to pour on everybody else just to get in their little suburban bastions and pretend privilege on someone else's birthrights that worked 400 years and invested human capital for 400 years. I guess they defecated daisies. Alex Jones asked them, do they remember when they defecated daisies, so that people worked 400 years just worked to hand them everything because their defecation smells so good like flowers and daisies. And let me tell you something about them pointing this finger at President Obama. See, what they trying to act like is that this Posse Comitatus that is coming back now on American soil hasn't happened before. But Posse Comitatus happened because after the Civil War, blacks was put in the Constitution. And to uphold blacks' constitutionality, the U.S. corporation was national security that was supposed to protect the Bill of Rights. So they had to go into southern states with soldiers and to uphold black rights and protect blacks from the Klan. That was Posse Comitatus, protecting and upholding the God-sovereign free citizens in the Constitution that didn't consent. And that's why Posse Comitatus was created down south. And then when Rutherford B. Hayes ran, he had a close vote, and he bargained to call off Posse Comitatus if you just let him hold on to this Republican presidency. So this is when the hijacking began. They called off Posse Comitatus, and in 1878, it was an act to remove Posse Comitatus from the southern states. And that's when the Klan had the freedom then to act like the police, and to hang, burn, lynch blacks, run them over the railroad tracks, and do anything they want to them, because now blacks had no protection. And they've been doing that ever since. See, that's the comfortability of Esau. Esau didn't want Posse Comitatus because he knew he had no constitutionality to uphold. So that's why he wanted a mob rule, and he followed that by pushing the Klan, and Woodrow Wilson finally got the presidency as part of that same Klan, and he upheld the burn across the white horse and the white hood as the Antichrist against the Holy Constitutional Republic Constitution for 100 years, since 1913, and whites have been voting for that. The proof of it is that all white senators, all white governors, all white this, all white that, all white at this ain't, all white at that ain't, all white at this and all white at that. And now they want to pretend they care about the Constitution. They want to pretend evil started with President Obama. They want to pretend the fact that President Obama is reasserting Posse Comitatus, that he got to be the most evilest thing on earth. No, you just want to run rampant and have stand my ground laws when you shoot down Trayvon Martin. You want blacks to be the only one getting shot and killed up in here, just like the Klan, okay? Him reissuing Posse Comitatus is because these people are out of hand in this country with no constitutional rights. And they insist on trampling blacks. And they insist on rights that was not constitutionalized to them. Because they are immigrants that came in way after the Constitution was signed, sealed, and Fort Knox. And it's their time and their karma where they better learn some truth. Because they so dense they can't see beyond their white skin. See, they have to learn the hard way. They had to learn the hard way. So let them bitch. Let them bitch learn the hard way. But these black men need to stay out of it and stand up for their 15th. Be fighting for their Constitution. And stay out of public who didn't give a damn about you. They don't give a damn about you. What you going on there pointing the finger at President Obama for? Instead of talking about that black woman and child and standing up for your 15th Amendment and constitutional rights. What you worrying about a drone over there for when you getting shot the hell over here? This is Mary Omni from the House of King David. Shalom.